Tonight we're getting input on what the community would like to see on Howell Park Master Plan. This is the second meeting. We had a first meeting where we looked at 4 different types of scenarios of how you could develop a new park. Got feedback from that. We used that information to come back with a more focused plan based on the priorities people told us in that first meeting.
Give us an assessment of Howell Community Park as it is right now and what the possibilities are.
Well, Howell's a big park. It's 113 acres, so it's got a lot of land that can be used for a lot of different amenities. The golf course occupies, of course, most of that, and we've developed the portion that's not golf course, but this is looking at how would you, if you get rid of the golf course, how would you develop that land. Thank y'all for coming today. If you're here to look at the plans for the Howell Community Park, this is our second meeting. We had a meeting about a month and a half ago. Those 4 plans that we presented, which had different ideas in them, are on this wall over here. And in that meeting, you guys gave us a lot of feedback that we then took and have used to kind of refine down to one plan, and want to get comments on that. Sorry we had a printing difficulty, and the rest of our stuff should be here in just a second. But got a plan right here that you can look at. There'll be surveys just like last time. It's real important, if you don't mind, to look at the plan, ask any questions about it so we can make sure you answer anything, and then take that survey, because the survey in it, we ask, what are your priorities, what are the things you really want to see, because that's crucial for us to really refine the park in a way that meets everybody's needs. There's a big wish list, but we want to focus on what are the things that serve the community the best, and that the majority of people are really looking for, and how we can achieve that. There's also some steps in there that talk about budget. We have just a little bit over $2 million to do our first phase. So we want to hear about, well, what would you like to see in that first phase? And we've got, this board actually shows a way of doing a first phase, but there could be others. So we need to know, what is it y'all want to see first? What are the things we should come out of the gate with for new improvements and so forth? And then any other ideas that you might have. There still could be something missed out there that y'all might want to add to the park. So we'd be glad to hear all that. The trends have been going down for golf. We've had a lot of courses closing in the area. Unfortunately, golf is just not, it's not been peaking. It's been reducing in time. So we're doing things to try to keep golf going, but there's also a lot of resource that it takes to keep golf moving.
Tell us how many rounds of golf are played at the Howell Golf Course compared to others in East Baton Rouge Parish?
Howell's our lowest numbers, I believe. It's about 5,000 to 6,000 rounds a year, which is pretty low. For example, Santa Maria will be up over 30,000 rounds a year. Webb Park about the same. So this course gets not a lot of rounds. Still costs a lot to open it and maintain it and staff it, but it's just not getting very many rounds of traffic. What you're looking at now is the conceptual master plan for the second public meeting, and it's got elements that were the priorities that people talked to us about. So over here, this area is actually what's built, and then this is all new stuff from primarily on the golf course. So starting down the bottom, this is taking the pro shop and redoing it as a small event area, also where we could have our day camps for summer day camps and so forth. So it becomes a little kind of lawn area that they can utilize and use for different events. Then coming off this side, another picnic area that feeds into the existing playground, which is a very popular area. Then in the middle, one of the most popular things people wanted was a lake. They wanted to be able to fish. They wanted to be able to go out on kayaks and stuff. So we have a large lake in the middle of the park. There's also an event space in the middle on an island that would have an amphitheater, an area for big events. And then even a boathouse where we could have our kayaks and our canoes for programming. Coming back on this side, there was also a lot of people interested in a recreation center. So this is a pretty large recreation center. It would actually have two gyms in it, and it would be centered off of a new parking area with a asphalt basketball court, which would be like tournament courts, which scored real high. Then right next to it would be a lighted multi-purpose field. that would be used for football, soccer, any of the kind of large sport areas that would go into there. Then another thing that scored real high, particularly with the kids, was a bicycle pump track area, where it's got some topography and some area where you can do some really neat riding, and we're showing that over here. Then moving over, we had talked to the community a lot last time about doing a tournament kind of quality track, or doing one that would be real good for just the public to use. And the public one seemed to be the stronger need that people talked about. So we've incorporated a kind of public track that people could run, walk, teams could practice, but you could enjoy that pretty much daily. Then inside there, we're looking at a challenge course. This would be something that anybody could go through. It's kind of an obstacle course where you use your body and build your muscles and do fun things to move through it. Also in there, adventure playground, which is a kind of a little bit different than this playground. This one's a little bit more kind of nature-based and a little bit more kind of different activities. So it complements to have two different types of playgrounds. Then here we're showing a farmer's market and community garden area. So people would be able to get out and garden and have their own plots, but then also the farmer's market could be hosted there. Then right in here we're showing another picnic area. Picnic area scored very high. That was one of the high demand things. And then here just a kind of lakeside pergola that would have a real nice view out onto the lake. Then, of course, going through trails, walking paths were probably the number one thing along with the lake that people ask for. So there's a real nice system of trails that go through the park. You can walk by the lake, you can walk by the other amenities, and have a really interesting walk. Over here we have a first tee area so that people could still practice golf. They could still, we could still do programming and learn that. And then also just an open kind of multi-purpose field that we could do different things. Also scattered around are restrooms and nice park benches and amenities for people. And then down here a dog park, which scored pretty high, so that people could come and bring their dogs and have a good time at that. And that kind of wraps up what we're asking people to look at and give us feedback on today.
BREC has 7 golf courses. There are 5 18-hole golf courses and 2 9-hole golf courses. And the busiest is Santa Maria, and then they're all busy, but some more than others.
Tell us, why did BREC get involved with studying golf courses?
Well, BREC asked the National Golf Foundation to come in and review BREC's golf operation. The National Golf Foundation said that BREC should take on more of a business model in its golf operation. They also did a survey of golfers, and they looked hard into the demographics of the Baton Rouge area, and they looked at how many golfers there are throughout the area. One of the things the National Golf Foundation said was that there are more golf courses than there are golfers to golf them really in this area.
And how does that compare with the national trends?
Well, the national trends on golf have been downwards over the last 10 years. There was a real spike in golf from 1998 through about 2005, 2006, and nationally the trends on golf have been down since 2006 to now. They have leveled off a little bit the last couple of years, but overall golf participation is down over the last 10 years.
Now, did this survey include any recommendations?
The National Golf Foundation made recommendations to BREC about all the golf courses, about things that could be improved everywhere, about marketing, about customer service. When they looked at the utilization, they said that Howell was one of the lowest played public golf courses in the United States. They said since there were more golf courses than the area needs, the National Golf Foundation recommended that we close Howell Golf Course and find some other use that would be better for the citizens of the area than a golf course.
What other options are there for golfers that utilize Howell in terms of being able to go to other golf courses?
Well, not far from here, we currently operate Webb Golf Course. We also close by have Dumas Golf Course and Clark Golf Course. Clark is a 9-hole shorter course with a driving range. Dumas is a full-length 18-hole golf course, as is Webb Golf Course.
We've gone through a pretty extensive process we went through a master planning stage at the beginning where we looked at 4 different plans. Now this is based off of prior work where consultants had come in on the golf courses. They looked at the golf course and realized that that Howell is just performing really low. It's kind of our lowest performer. So how do we, what are our options to either keep that or repurpose it? We really seen from our other community parks that these kind of improvements are very highly used, very greatly used. So with that information and others, it's decided let's look at what would happen if we repurposed Howell. So we developed 4 different themed plans to show the community, and we had a public meeting. We also put it on the web and left it for comments and so forth for a long period of time. We got comments back. In those comments, we asked people to prioritize what are the things they really like to see and have at a park, so that we could then take that information back to come up with a pretty well-focused master plan that meets all the needs of the community. And we're here at our second meeting to discuss that.
What kind of experience have you seen in East Baton Rouge Parish or in other parts of Louisiana where an underutilized golf course was turned into a community park in terms of increased participation?
In Louisiana, unfortunately, all the golf courses I know of that have been repurposed have turned into subdivisions or something else, so we don't have a really good example. We do have the example of our own community parks that were more of a neighborhood park before, but once we transformed them into community parks, the use just skyrocketed. We're seeing so much more use out of them, and it's really good use. We have families coming together, really having a great day, and it's really good to see the parks seem to feed off of having more activity in them and become a more positive area.
What are the benefits for young people and children when it comes to a community park?
Oh, I think there's a lot of great benefits. What we're seeing in the community parks is a lot of social cohesion, I think, where you're seeing people come together that ordinarily wouldn't have met each other, so they're coming and they're playing with their kids and they're meeting people and they're forming play dates. The kids are meeting, so you're seeing people networking within their community and knowing the community better. Dog parks are real good at that. People meet at dog parks, but walking does the same thing, where you're out walking and groups form that'll start walking together. So you're seeing a lot of health benefits, but then also the mental health benefits and the community cohesion and social well-being is going up.
So from now on, what is the timeline in terms of getting feedback and making decisions?
Well, we're moving through the master planning process. It's kind of hard to say exactly how long that'll take until we know we got the right plan and the right thing. We work on that. Once we've done that, then we would move into a phase of doing, whether it's construction documents or whatever, to move to the next phase. But that could take another 6 to 10 months.
As people view this on TV and would like to get involved, how can they provide feedback to BREC?
Oh, we should have information on the web. They can go to the web and look at some of this and then give us feedback through the web. There may be information even at Howell Park if you wanted to give us information there, but probably the web-based information is the best.
And the website for BREC is?
BREC.org, and then when you go there should be a planning portal that you could go into to find the Howell Park pages.